Hey everyone. It is raining here in Oklahoma, so hopefully it's not too loud because if you didn't know, rain in an RV is real loud. Um, I'm just hoping it's not going to turn to snow because it's not time yet. Let's see. So I am covering today. I don't know. I'm doing this in another stream. Okay, so I see there's 14 people. Comment if you can hear me. Everything is good. Hey Brian, thank you. Howdy. Um, Sometimes I think that I'm just talking to myself here. Hey Jocelyn. Snow here where Dan is. Hi Terry. I miss you. I'm excited for our beginner live. Hopefully you'll be able to be there. Hey Samantha. Snowed a tiny bit yesterday. Like I'm secretly excited, but I was talking to Becky. I was like, okay, so 4 days ago, we're running the AC, worried that our chocolates are going to melt in our cars. And now we're worried they're going to freeze in our cars. It's really very strange. So I'm excited for sweater weather, but just not so excited for driving in it because I'm from Oregon and we get like snow maybe once in a while. I mean, now it's different with the whole global warming and all that. But before it would be like we got snow day. We were so excited, and there was probably not even any snow on the ground. Anyways, so I don't know how to drive in the snow. All that to say. All right, so for this live tonight, I'm going to be talking about Black Friday, meaning that like whole week, basically that whole week and weekend, because it carries over into Cyber Monday and Green Tuesday, or is Green Monday is another day? Giving Tuesday. Anyways, it's like that whole time of things. So there's two different aspects to Black Friday, and I'm also going to go over how to win the buy box. And there's been a couple questions that were submitted, so I'll answer some of those, hopefully, and then any comments, questions that you guys have. That's my cat who has been sleeping all day because it's freezing, and now he's up and meowing. So if you heard that, that was my cat. He's very loud. So first, I just want to cover there's Black Friday is really two things. So you're a seller, right? And you're also sourcing. So there's two different aspects to Black Friday as an Amazon seller. So I have my little notes here. I didn't put it up on my grid. Okay. So as a seller, if you're going to FBM, and hopefully I've convinced you that it's worth it, if you're going to FBM, you really want to have your shipping templates dialed in. So you have, what do we have? Like basically this week to kind of figure that out if you haven't already. I have a whole FBM video. It wasn't that long ago, so it should be kind of close to the top there of just like, I literally go over all of my shipping templates. And one of the questions I got from Shay, she wanted, or he, sorry, I didn't pay attention, wanted details on like when I use which template. So I have a lightweight free shipping template, which is what I use like 90% of the time. I also have a free ground only shipping template, and that is the one that I use for things like perfume or things that I'm not sure how expensive they're going to be. So I have a pretty large item that I'm FBMing right now. I have no idea how much it's going to be, probably around like $15 to $20 to ship it when it sells. But since I don't know, I'm only offering ground because I'm not about to like get hit with that $40, next day shipping or whatever. If you watch the video, I explain like you should turn off your second and overnight deliveries. You can still have expedited. So my free template has expedited shipping, but my ground only has free economy shipping. So they can't expedite it. You have to have standard, which standard is the same as just regular free shipping. So I leave that one, but those are the two that I use the most. I also have a $4.99 flat rate shipping, where that's like something that maybe I want to sell for $20, or maybe I'd like to sell for $25, but Amazon will only let me sell it for $20. So I can sell it for $20 and then add on that $4.99 flat rate shipping. It has to be a really hot item for a buyer to want to pay shipping, right? Like, why are they going to choose you over someone else who maybe has free shipping and it's like $2? more. They're probably going to choose that, right? So I only use those ones where either it is going to cost me a lot to pay and maybe Amazon has price capped it, and so I can only do that amount. So those are the various reasons why I have another $9.99 flat rate, but I have nothing listed for those right now. I only have the free ground and the free like everything shipping. So just know that if you're going to charge for shipping, which you may need to, it needs to be kind of worth it for the customer. That being it's a really hot item and you're the only seller, or there's only like 3 other sellers, one of those, which will happen when you get into Black Friday. All those hot things, all those hot toys, you might be on something right now that's hot, but Amazon's in stock, or you maybe are going to try it, but Amazon's in stock. Amazon could sell out over the weekend of Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and you can sell it. So definitely want to be like having your shipping templates pinned down or make quick adjustments. You can adjust your stuff in manage inventory. You can click on the item, just like you click the photo from manage inventory. You can click it and adjust it and pick a different shipping template there. I had to do that with that item because I was like, shoot, I don't want to offer, I don't want anyone to buy expedited shipping because I don't have a clue how much that's going to be. So I went in and I changed it to free ground only. So those are things to look out for as far as your shipping templates for selling. Also, while you're selling in the next couple weeks, you want to be on top of your pricing, and that might mean that you're going to price something up. So if there's been a lot of people dropping the price on a listing that you have, and you're just waiting them out, if they've all sold out, you might need to price up so that you are getting more money. Like, well, that could happen. So I always recommend every day during that week of Thanksgiving, actually probably from now for the whole Q4, honestly, being on top of your pricing and making sure. That means you have to click into something and see. It doesn't mean just automatically from manage order or manage inventory, just matching a price that says it's low price. You don't know if you want to match that. If they only have one and they're the only low seller and everyone else is $10 more, you want to know that, right? So you have to click into the items. Judy and Tammy asked me if I use a repricer. I do not use a repricer. I never have used a repricer. I did try, or I think it was like Be Cool, whatever. They're free. I think it's like 2 weeks or something. I'm not sure what it is free. I didn't have the time to set it up. If you're going to use a repricer, which you might need to, I have, I think, over 400 listings or something at the moment. I still don't use a repricer. If you have a lot of listings and you want to use a repricer, my only ask for all the Amazon sellers out there everywhere is to set it up correctly. Don't just drop a penny and drop and drop and drop. Like, you're only creating a race to the bottom. So there's a lot of great repricers out there. You can set them up. I have no idea how to do it because I've never done it and I didn't take the time to do it. But I know that they are out there that you can set it smartly and it'll actually raise prices. So whichever one you're using, if you do go, definitely learn a lot and don't just set it wild and forget it, because you don't want to be losing out on money, especially right now. Let's see. So yeah, stay on top of your pricing. And if you have any old stale inventory, now is the time to kind of move it. Like, if you have stuff that's been sitting there for a couple months, or you're just like, dang, that was a really bad buy, like, now is the time where you can cut your losses. So over the next couple of weeks, hopefully with Q4, it's like here, the swing of it, hopefully your sales have been picking up the last couple of weeks and they'll only just continue. We're on our way up to the peak. The people's best weeks are usually the week of like December like 10th and right in around there, when people are last minute Christmas shopping, and they're ordering online. And Amazon, I don't know if it says it already. I don't think it does. It'll start to say will arrive by Christmas or won't arrive by Christmas, which is another really important thing to consider when you're pricing. If it's not going to arrive, if your listing says it's not going to arrive by Christmas, stop dropping your price, because it's not going to get people to buy it. Like, you're just creating that race to the bottom. So pay attention to what you have. If another seller who's lower than you says they're not going to arrive by Christmas, then just people aren't going to buy theirs, right? They're going to buy yours. So you don't have to keep matching that price. All right, so that is Black Friday selling as far as Amazon. I'm going to jump into the sourcing part of it, if you're going to source on Black Friday. But first, I'm going to scroll through these comments and see. I know my cats are running wild. I just saw it run by. If there's any questions here, Judy. Hi, Judy. That was your question. Cold in New England. Armstrong Outdoors, glad to see you live. Thank you for UNGATED course. My wife and I are awesome month. Congratulations. You're welcome. I hopefully that is helpful. That group is awesome. So if you're in the groups, be sure to ask any questions there. There's my cat again. All right, yeah, so you guys can drop any questions that you have in the comments, and I will be sure, or in the chat, I guess it is here. Brian had a buy box eligible issue. It's now resolved. That's awesome. Live on my TV. That's so crazy to me. But my roommate watches YouTube on TV all the time. Okay, so I have a whole video on how to win the buy box, but I wanted to go over it again anyways with you here. So you do not have to price drop. Like, that's like the main thing. I'm like, let's get this whole like community of people together. Just if you have another Amazon seller friend, tell them like you don't have to drop the price. That is like the very like lowest of low reasons of why you win the buy box. So here's how you can win the buy box, or how you're eligible to win the buy box. Your account type. So you do have to be a professional seller. So if you're an individual seller account, maybe you want to upgrade to a professional during Q4. That doesn't mean you won't get sales, but you're not going to get as many sales if you're not a professional selling account, meaning that $39.99 a month. Excuse me. Your customer service and account metrics. So if you're doing FBM, that means you're shipping your orders on time. You don't having to cancel any of them. You don't have any IP complaints, like all that kind of stuff. Like you've taken care of all of that stuff, so your account is in good health. You know, that little new green bar that they have. I think if you're over 200, you're in good health. So as long as your account is in good health and a professional account, and your items are in new condition, so used are not going to win the buy box. You might win sales, but you're not going to win the buy box. Only caveat is like books. Like books are their own other category on themselves. I don't sell books. I don't have any at the moment. I occasionally will sell some if I find any good ones at Ollie's, because I'm really not out there sourcing books. But if you have any books, if you have new stuff, not used, then you're eligible to win the buy box. And it's an algorithm, just like, you know, Instagram is only showing reels. Like, they're going to favor different things over other things. So here, they're going to favor if you offer fast or free shipping. So if you're FBA, they already are going to ship it fast, right? But that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to win over another FBA offer, because if yours is an FC transfer, so that date the customer sees, so what are we, the 14th of November? If it's saying it's going to ship on December 12th, but another seller has it in stock and available and it's going to ship for that customer right now, they're going to win the buy box. It's also a matter of where you're at. So I'm in Oklahoma. My stock is all over the US. So if I have stock in California and there's a buyer in California, then Amazon's going to offer up my item to that customer. If there's a customer in Florida, they're not going to offer up mine if there's another seller who has stock in ready to ship in Florida. So those are all different things that go into who is in the buy box. I could be on my computer and someone else can be on their computer in New York, and we would have two different buy box offers. Also, someone helped me realize this during one of my lives in one of the Bolo groups, is that my selling account does not have Prime. My Amazon customer account, which I used to buy all my personal orders and everything, I have Prime on that one. But my seller account, which is what I'm logged into when I'm making my listings, when I'm making my SKUs, I almost always see FBM offers there because I don't have Prime. So since I don't have Prime, those other FBM offers are probably more going to get to me faster than if I had logged into my customer account. And then I'm going to see all the Prime offers, right? So it matters what the customer has, like how they're shopping, what they're going to get shown in the buy box. Stock availability, like I just said, like if your stock is transferring around, it's going to take another 2 weeks to transfer around the warehouses. You're not going to get that buy box over someone who has it ready and available. So whenever I'm pricing, I always go to my manage inventory and I hit the available. So the ones that I have the most units on come up first, and I price that way, because I only want to price stuff that's available and ready to ship. If it's in reserve, transferring around, it's not worth my time to sit there and price it because it's still moving around. So I'm going to wait and see what happens later on. Another way that you can price is if you're trying to get rid of old stock is the same thing. You would click the created by or the last change date, and then you'll get all the stuff that was oldest. You have to click it twice, I think, to get the oldest. And then you'll have all your old stuff first so that you can get rid of some old stale stock. So all of those different things go into it, and then the price. Like, it's not just price. So that's what I'm trying to drive home is you don't have to drop price. The good thing about Q4, honestly, at this time of year, is all of those lowball sellers are going to sell it real fast because everything's going to start selling really fast if you haven't already. I've gotten the buy box on a couple items over the last week, and they sold like that. Like in a day, all my stock was gone. And so it's just going to keep going more and more like that. So hopefully, if I can get one thing across, it's that you don't have to keep lowering your prices. But honestly, if that's what you're going to do at this point, I don't really care because you're going to be sold out and I'm going to get a higher price. All right, so next up, I'm going to talk about Black Friday sourcing, but first I'm going to scroll back through the comments and see if we have any questions. Best way to keep track of KPI, I guess it depends what your key performance is, because I'm just keeping track of what's selling. So literally right now, all I'm doing is I use Seller Board a lot because it's telling me how much profit I'm making and what's selling every day. And I like it because it has a photo, because it's just visually easy to see on my phone what's selling. So I just am literally running in the stores and replenishing whatever has been selling as much as I can. My cat is so loud. I don't know if you can hear it or not. Beagle Boy, new to this, no dumb questions. How do you offer free shipping with a merchant fulfilled? You just have to make a template. So if you're a professional, if you're an individual account, you can't make shipping templates. You have to be professional in order to make shipping templates. So if you are a professional account, I have a video. Again, it wasn't that long ago, so it should be in my newer uploads about how to FBM, and it walks you through how to create a shipping template. And so you're literally just click the free shipping template, but not everything is free. So you do want to charge for standard. And I would put expedited on if you're comfortable with that. It's not 2-day and not 1 day, but I would check that, and then you'll get people paying for shipping, which is great. Like I have an order that went out today that they paid for expedited. I was gonna have to send it priority anyways because it was over a pound. And since they paid for it and it was going priority anyways, it was like a win-win. They paid for the shipping, so I didn't have to cover that. Mike asked, how do you tell how many items a seller has? So I use the Keepa extension. It's the paid Keepa version. So I think it's $19.99 a month or something like that. I pay for the whole year at once because it is a foreign transaction. It's in euros. But if you have the Keepa extension on Chrome, it'll tell you when you click on a buy box or other sellers, it'll tell you how many everyone has. Also, Seller Amp will tell you how many everyone has. I use that. I know sellers love it, and that's great. Whatever works for you is awesome. I don't use it, but I do have it on my phone. And so occasionally when I'm sourcing and I want to know, okay, how many do these people have? I will check it, but I know Seller Amp tells you how many everyone has. There's also a free Chrome extension. If you want to go the free route, it's called How Many with a question mark. And it will tell you, I think you get 10, you can check 10 products a day. It will tell you how many all the sellers have. So that's a free one. Betty asked how many or what version of QuickBooks Online do you use? I just use the online one. I think that is the version because there's like self-employed or all that. I just use online, and I'll tell you a hint about QuickBooks. So if you sign up for it, there's probably an offer for like 3 months for a certain price or something. And then if you, and then I think it's 29, I'm not sure. Anyways, there's a certain price that it'll be. If you go to cancel it, they'll be like, oh, do you want to try it for this much a month? So anyways, I've done that a couple of times. Not anymore, but I used to do that. So you'll get like an offer for cheaper. I bet he's in St. Louis. I see her. Debbie. Um, Debbie's asking how do I personal or business. So if you have a seller account, um, that's what I mean by business. I probably misspoke. So my seller account doesn't have Prime, but my like personal customer where I shop Amazon has Prime attached to it. You can have a business like Amazon customer account. I don't have that. I just have my business one. Uh, let's see. Brad says I seem more organized this time. I telling Jocelyn, I was like, can you look at the chats because I have everything. Normally I just answer your guys' questions and I never get to my bullet points, but I was like, now I'm gonna have my bullet points. We were gonna chat about Black Friday. Betty, you're gonna have to tell me, is it telling you different options for QuickBooks? Because I thought it was just online. I just have online. Uh, Loving it says, are you buying as much inventory for this Q4 as you did last Q4? I am buying more every year. I do better. This month I'm on track to do what I did in December last year, and December last year was my best month ever. So I'm excited to see what I do in December this year. So my goal was $100,000 in sales, $30,000 of profit, because sales numbers don't mean anything. It's the profit that we care about. So that's my goal. I should be able to do it. I think I'm at 10,000 or profit right now, just about, or 12. So I got a lot of numbers to make up, but I also have a lot of inventory that I'm sending in. Another thing that came up in the Q4 group or just comes up every year is like I don't know what we're chasing yet. I wouldn't tell you if I did, but I don't know yet. I don't have anything I'm chasing. I'm just doing stuff that I do every year. I have a lot of everything. I'm not just focused on toys. I think a lot of sellers get focused on toys. I was pretty focused on toys last year, but I'm not focused on just toys this year. I'm not focused on just holiday stuff. I have everything. I'm sourcing as usual. Um, is it better? Which goes great because Mike's asking, is it better to spread my money out on different items? Yes. You will get burned if you don't go wide. So there's a saying, go wide, not deep. So wide means you have a lot of different items, and deep means maybe you have 4 items and you are going like you buy 100 of each one, right? That's deep. You don't want to go deep because a lot of things can happen. We might get price capped on stuff. Hot toys get price capped. So you could get them right now and you might be able to sell them, but in a week or two, they might be price capped. And now you're just basically selling it for like $5 profit or at a loss, and then it's not worth it anymore. You might get toy compliance documents, like anything could happen. So don't go too deep on an item. When you see something selling, definitely go replenish it as much as you can, but don't go too deep on anything. You want a lot of different things, and don't focus in on any one like area. Like I said, don't just focus on toys, don't just focus on holiday stuff. Get everything, because people are asking for everything for Christmas, right? Like I was just telling, I asked for a ravioli maker this year. And so my parents are buying me that from Amazon. So it's like there's a lot of different things out there that people want. So don't just focus in on the holiday things. Uh, Andy says for business customer, you can get tax exempt, which is awesome. I do have that at Lowe's for my land business. Can Amazon require stickers to print on a Rollo printer? Yes, you can print your stickers from Rollo. Actually, I had an issue with my Rollo this last shipment because I've been using the Chrome extension for my Rollo, but I guess you don't need to use that anymore, which I found out after a little freak out because you know how you could screenshot the labels and print them? I was having to do that for one shipment. I was like, I'm not about to do this for my other shipment with a lot of boxes. Found out it was super simple. So there's like a way Rollo support is awesome, so I would recommend emailing them if you need more help, but there's a thing where you could pick the thermal printer and pick 4 by 6 for your Rollo. Let's see. Terry asked, I have some items that are still in the return time frame, not really selling, but definitely. So I all the stores at this point, I'm pretty sure Walmart. I mean, now we're in they have even Amazon has a return period all the way through January. So if you're FBMing stuff, I would just leave it listed until the return period comes close. Like I had a lot of Halloween stuff, and I waited until I think it was like the Saturday before. I didn't want to wait till after Halloween. I did it right before because I was like, that's gonna be weird. Plus, I wasn't totally sure if Walmart had a Halloween policy or not. So, anyways, I would keep them and see if you can sell them. Unless you need that money. If you need that money for other stuff and you think it was a dud, then go ahead and return it. Armstrong Outdoors. Should I delete a listing? It was an awesome product. Can't find it anymore. My inventory says out of stock. Should I just delete it? You can delete it. I used to keep my items. I never deleted them. And then they started to issue like IPs for like stuff I hadn't sold in months or a year. And so that's why I decided to now delete them. So now I delete everything after like the last round I just did was through June or July. So I wait a while, but then I'll go through and mass delete in my manage inventory. Again, like I was talking about, you could sort by the date it was created. So I do that. And if I haven't sold it or updated, it'll update with a sell or with a transfer or anything like that. So if it hadn't been updated since June or July, I went through and deleted everything. It's really your call. It doesn't totally affect your IPI. What affects your IPI is having stranded items or having unfulfillable items or excess items, which they deem over 90 days. So those kind of things do that. But I have been deleting my stuff now. I usually say to wait till the return period to end, but that's totally up to you. The reason for the return period is that if something gets you deleted it, a customer returns it, which they have until January 31st, 2023 to delete it. If they return it, it'll go to your stranded because it doesn't have a listing anymore. Not the end of the world. You could just recreate a listing from there. Let's see. Andy asks, how do you track your expenses? So I have QuickBooks online. I have an accountant who helps me with the bookkeeping there, and so I'm planning to learn it too. There's this thing called Skillshare. I want to say it's called. Anyways, I even bought a community college course to learn it, but then I didn't like it because it didn't have any videos, and I learned by videos. So, anyways, there's this thing called Skillshare, which I'm pretty sure they're gonna have QuickBooks training. So there's a lot of trainings out there. I'm sure there's some on YouTube too to learn QuickBooks. But since I enter everything, like my bank account is linked there, all my credit cards are linked there, my PayPal is linked there, like everything I use to spend money is linked there. So it all goes into there, making it easy. So I don't scan my receipts anymore, even though QuickBooks will. I used to do that. I use Mile IQ now to track my mileage. I finally downloaded it, and it is as easy as everyone said it was. I have not been tracking the miles, so that's bad. You should track your miles. But yeah, that's how I do my expensive. I know a lot of people use Inventory Lab to track their expenses. I don't, but you can also track them all in there also, which will be a better picture of like your total profit since it has all of your Amazon stuff. Since my Amazon payouts get sent to my bank account and my bank account is in QuickBooks, that's how I can see the money coming in that way. But yeah. Betty, how is your house coming? So I'm not building a house. I'm gonna still live in this RV. I'm building a warehouse slash shop, and it will have where I'm gonna be able to pack up things. It's gonna have like a massive shop area to renovate RVs and that kind of stuff. And then it'll have a recording area. It'll have a laundry. I can stop going to the laundromat. Lots of tiny little things I'm super excited about. Camilla asks, what happens when you are banned? Do you lose all your income? So if you happen to get shut down, when I happened to me my first year and I was able, Amazon let you talk to them at that point. I don't think they do anymore. Sorry, I just spit. I don't know if that was seen. Um, but now I think it's my Amazon guy who people use. You kind of need help now at this point, but they'll keep all your money until you can figure it out. Like mine was reinstated. And then I'm telling you, anytime I got any kind of like policy warning or IP, I was asking for a payout that day because I was so worried they're going to hold all my money. Because it does suck. You get your money tied up there, but there's ways you can get it back. Excuse me, but you can, um, it's going to cost some money hiring someone, unfortunately. Why I got banned real fast, or not banned, I got suspended, is that my first year I got an IP complaint and it just said like you can't sell this or whatever the IP complaints say. And so I was like, okay, fine. It was something I had gotten for free anyways. It was a phone case, I think it was the first thing. I do not recommend selling any kind of phone cables, phone electronics. A lot of people always get IPs from that. But anyways, besides that, so I had that. I deleted the product and I thought I was good. And then I got another one. And that was when I got shut down because I didn't take care of it. So as long as you appeal it, and at this point, right now, sometimes you have to send your receipts, but right now, a lot of the times it's just like you click appeal and you like acknowledge that you did wrong, you check all the boxes, and then it goes away in a couple days, if not like the next day. But definitely take care of any of those policy warnings that you get from Amazon and from Amazon only. From a customer, it doesn't matter. I just got one today and I'm like, yeah, spam. Let's see. How do you decide if an item is worth FBA versus FBM? Uh, I would recommend starting with something lightweight just to test it out. So holiday napkins, maybe beauty products. I sell a lot of beauty products FBM because they're lightweight. Uh, for me, I still send almost 90% of my stuff, if not more, is all going into the warehouse. But I do have some, like, I got some items on clearance that are summer items from Walmart. And so I have those listed FBM because I'm not about to send them into the warehouse right now. If they sell great, if not, I'll send them in next year. If an item is like sold out when you scan it, that's usually when I'll be like, "Ooh, I'm gonna list this FBM real fast," because that means it's hot and there's not a product that's not there right now. So people will probably buy it. That's usually like I just had that happen not that long ago. Sold out and I list them FBM right from Walmart, and then they're selling that day as I'm going. So I can go to another Walmart and get more. But for me, it's really the lightweight little stuff that either it might be hazmat for whatever reason, either it's flammable or just a hazmat toy, I'll FBM those. Let's see. Tiffany asks, have I ever considered doing private label? Um, I would, for me, like yes and no. Like private label as far as like bundles, I'm for sure gonna do, but private label full on product, like that is a whole other like beast. And so it works great for a lot of people. I know a ton of RVers who do it and you can make money and you don't ever really have to see the product because you're getting it sent and set and just goes to the warehouse. And so it really is a great model. It's just not necessarily for me. Wholesale and making bundles, that kind of stuff is more what I'm into, but I would highly recommend if you want to do private label to do it. It's just you kind of have to, it's good to start with RA because now you know how Amazon works, and then you kind of have to dive in. Like it's a lot of that upfront work to find a product that's worth it. But yeah, okay, I'm gonna go into Black Friday as someone sourcing for Amazon. So first thing is don't feel bad if you don't go sourcing on Black Friday or over that weekend at all. You're really not missing out on anything. I like Black Friday sourcing more because I just enjoy the people watching and the craziness, and I like shopping, so it's fun for me. But if you don't do it, don't go. Like, you're not missing out on anything. And in fact, you can get a lot of the deals, if not all the deals, online anyways. So you could just source online. I do a little bit of online also. I need to start digging into all the ads, but the only other tip I have for sourcing if you're gonna go out is watch out for the doorbusters. Those are usually not the exact product that they look like. They made them cheaper. They made them for the store. And the one of the groups Becky was talking about an item she has, and she bought it the real one, and then there's a Black Friday version, and it's not the same. It's missing some things that go with it. So just be careful of that when you're outsourcing. Those doorbusters almost always either are not the same or they tank in price really fast as all the other sellers got it too, and now they're all just doing that penny drop because they haven't listened, or you haven't told them yet that they shouldn't drop a penny to win the buybacks. You don't need to do that. Anyways, it always happens that they drop in price, so just be aware of that as you're outsourcing. If you're sourcing on Black Friday, either online or in store, that those doorbusters are, plus they're usually like weird, like store brand stuff anyways, so they almost never make any money. And it's always like DVDs and stuff, which we can't sell anyways. You can sell it. I just wouldn't recommend it because you can get counterfeit shut down real fast with DVDs and CDs. And that is anyone planning to go sourcing for Black Friday? That's really kind of all I had as far as Black Friday. So now I'm going to go through questions again in the chat. What Wi-Fi am I using? I'm currently on, I have an AT&T, like whatever, cell phone hotspot. And we've had that forever, the whole time that we've been RVing. And then I have Starlink also, but since it's raining, if the rain and the weather can affect it, so I decided to switch over to the AT&T just for this, but I usually use the Starlink. I saw I think you asked this in my sheet. Linda, if you try to engage a brand and denied, it shows in a draft. No, it doesn't like save. It's just like your draft waiting for you to submit your invoice and stuff. So I have a lot of drafts that are just sitting there, and you can't really delete them, but they're just in there. Okay. No, I see. Andy and Terry have the same question. Did I answer it? Terry, I went deeper than I should have, and the ranking is really high, so I think they're going back. Oh yeah, your Christmas item. Oh, Terry's still selling wine slushies, so she won't be shopping. Jacqueline, I just started a couple of weeks ago. How long does it take to really make money? It's gonna take you probably 3 months or longer, so you'll don't give up with that. Like, it's worth it, I promise. But if you're like, "Oh, I can't make it 3 months," then this is probably not for you anyways. But you have to put in the money, and then it's gonna take a while because it's gonna hold your reserves, and so it takes a long time to really snowball into something, but it really will snowball if you keep going at it. The great thing is that Q4 kind of is like a oomph, pushes you up, that'll help you make money faster. So I started at late August, and I pulled out my first profits like at the very end of December, early January. I was able to make 5,000 or 6,000, I can't remember, something in there. Really great, like all profit. Like, I had paid back all my initial, I had enough inventory still there. I had paid back all my trainings, all my supplies, all of that money that I first invested. I got all that back plus my profit. So I always say 6 months, give it 6 months and really give it a go. If you're just kind of like, oh, maybe I'll do this, and you're doing it part time, that's the results you're going to get out of it. You can do it part time, but you have to be all into it part time, meaning you're really giving it your effort. It's like all things in life. You get into it, what you get out of it what you put into it. So if you're just doing it as a hobby here and there, you're going to have hobby here and there money back. So just know that it is going to take a while. And I think you don't get your first payout really until like the 4 to 6 week mark, anyways. So it's going to take a whole nother 6 weeks after that to really build that up. Morgan asks, what if you get an IP complaint mailed to your home, cease and desist letter? Those ones, okay, so if you get them through a message in the Amazon app, I always ignore them. Nothing has ever happened to me. If they come to your house, I usually price to move or just pull the listing. Like I'll usually price to move for like 2 days and then pull the listing all together just because it's pure creep factor. Like it's creepy. And I've also ignored the first one and then they sent another one 2 days later, which I have a mailbox. Like it's not even in the state. And so I have a mailbox that this because I RV around that they go to. And so like I was already getting them like weeks later. So nothing even happens then, but it's just not worth like it should. So anyway, I just delete those products pretty quickly if that happens. But if it doesn't come from Amazon, I never respond to them. You don't like I mean, do your own legal search. I'm not any kind of legal expert, but we're not doing anything wrong and you don't actually have to like there's a Supreme Court ruling that we don't actually have to tell anyone where we get our product from. So there's that protecting us. It's only the fact that we sell on Amazon, which Amazon owns, right? If you had your own website, you could do whatever you want on your own website. But since we're selling on Amazon, we have to play by Amazon's rules. Brian says he's selling products. I don't want to put what you're selling up on the screen, but congrats, Brian. Zach says, I avoid products where Amazon is on the listing. Is there ever a time to go for a product when Amazon is on the listing? So if you use Keepa, you can pull up the buy box statistics either online or on the app. You go over to buy box statistics, like scroll at the bottom, and on the desktop, you go to data and then buy box statistics. My cats are going crazy. Anyways, it'll tell you if Amazon shares the buy box there. So it's really helpful information. I bought a lot of stuff last week that Amazon is on the listing, but they are only giving themselves the buy box like 13% of the time. So of course I bought those because they obviously are sharing. If I see that they are not sharing the buy box, they give themselves 100%, I won't buy it then. In general, unless it's like a really hot product with really great profit and I got it really cheap, like if I see Amazon on it, I won't even go any further investigation than that. But if you wanted to look and see if they do share it, you can go and check Keepa for the buy box statistics. That's the only way I know of. If anyone knows of another way, but yeah, I was told this to the beginners group. If you want to try anything, if you want to try higher rankings, you want to test stuff out in higher rankings, a category you've not done before that you're not sure of. There's my cat again. This is a great time to try it out because literally everything is selling. Hopefully your sales are already starting to pick up. Like Brian says, he's getting all these sales during this whole 40-minute live right now. So that's awesome. So hopefully your sales continue to pick up. But now is a great time to try anything it's like a safe time. Like the rest of the year, you can try whatever you want, right? But now it's like a safer time to really see if it works out or not. Let's see. Mira, if all the other factors line up for an item, but the competitors have hundreds of thousands of inventory. So I don't really look at how many other sellers are on it. I do look at how many they have. So it only matters if they have 1,000 and I'm going to price what they're at anyways, then I will still sell it. If they have 1,000 and they're like way below what I can price it, obviously I'm not going to buy it, right? Because they have clearly are getting this somewhere wholesale or something. And so they have a lot more room so I'm not even going to try to do that. Betty was asking about how many boxes. I don't think there's a limit on how many boxes you can send at a time. If you get to a certain, like I think it was when I was home in Oregon in April, It was the first time I'd ever gotten like a, "You should be sending a pallet shipment," but you can still send them. So if you get a certain amount, like a massive amount, congratulations, and you can do pallets if you want to. I've never done it yet. Hopefully soon. Abraham, I made my first big mistake. Congratulations on your learning experience. I listed an item that was supposed to be sold in two and only sold one, got a bad review. What can I do? Well, you've already closed it, so that's good. You can try anytime you get a bad feedback review, go into your feedback on your account. I don't know if you could do it in the app. I never do anything in the app. The app is only for looking for me. It's so glitchy. I do everything on the desktop, Seller Central. But if you go in there to feedback, you can click on it and ask for it to be removed. They may or may not remove it automatically. Anytime you get bad feedback, always ask for it to be removed. If they don't remove it, you can open a case and make a case for it. So if they talked about the product, if they used bad words, if they talked about the price, those are all things that they'll take it down for. This one is a tough one. They may or may not take it down, but I would still ask for it anyways. Samantha, have you ever thought about creating a digital download? I am not on Amazon. Obviously, I have all the ungating guides, and those are digital downloads, and I had to learn that. But I sold those outside of obviously Amazon. So I don't have any ideas, but I would always test something. So here's the thing with Amazon. So I did try with the magazine. I tried to do merch by Amazon, which is where you put your designs on T-shirts. And so I put the magazine logo because we're RVers, and so we needed like it. No one's gonna hold stock, and I was like, oh great, print on demand is gonna be awesome, right? So I put the logo. That thing, not just on Amazon, it was all over the internet. Like, I don't know, like, so there's some like gating that they don't do on that side. So it was basically everywhere. I had to like make up a cease and desist and send it to these websites to stop selling our trademarked logo shirt on their site. So there's some iffy things, which just because that was digital and so what you're doing is digital. So I'm hesitant to say like test it out on Amazon because they don't protect you in that way, unless you have like a trademark with wherever you're selling. I know you're in Canada, so there's different things like that you would have to. I would just be careful with what you're doing on Amazon because they you're not going to get a lot of protections. Um, but all that to say, if you want to test it, test it. But you got to have all your legal checks in order. Like that we have the magazine name trademarked. Like there's no reason like that they should just be able to take it, but they did. Uh, Oh, this is great. Samantha also said, "How do you balance everything?" Um, I was just talking to my roommate Damien about this. I was like thinking, there's so many things like I don't know how to do it all, first of all, but I could grow my teaching side of this like a lot, right? Like I don't think I'm joking or anyone's surprised when I say I make more money teaching it than I do on selling on Amazon. But I would have to give up selling on Amazon, and I would rather sell on Amazon than grow that other side of it. So I'm struggling like between the two, which to put money and effort into. But I actually want to grow my retail arbitrage, like Amazon selling business more. I have more plans to grow that than I do this other teaching side of thing. And so I was like, I don't know how to you really say that, but since your question popped up, that's literally like there's a million different things that I could do on the teaching everyone how to sell on Amazon, but I would have to give up actually selling on Amazon, and that's what I love to do. And so I don't have any points or reasons to stop selling on Amazon. I only want to grow that part of it. And so my struggle is finding ways to do both, whether that's hiring more people or whatever that is. Anyways, all long story short, that is what it's like. I want to like tell you guys that like that's I could stop selling on Amazon and grow this other thing exponentially, but I don't want to. I would rather be selling on Amazon. So it's really hard because nothing else gets done this time of year. Like my YouTube videos, hopefully they're really still fun and entertaining, but my heart is into selling right now because this is that time of year for it. Um, yeah. So, okay, I'm gonna go back through some more. Okay, so how do I balance it all? So, I didn't have a life in 2020, which it was a great year for it, really, because we weren't traveling or anything because there wasn't much to do in 2020. Um, but then I started to like, you just have to do that, like decide what's in it. So that's why I say if you're on the fence with selling on Amazon, then like you're always going to be on the fence with how much money you're making, right? So you have to prioritize what is important to you. And for me, I had to cut out some things or give some things off to other people, hire out some parts of my what I was doing just to make like my life have a day off every once in a while. Lucas, I've been FDMing for 2 months. Okay, so you can price competitively with FBA. Um, it's no longer that FBA takes priority. In fact, as an FBM seller, during Q4, you'll probably get a lot more of the sales. I know Kim in the one of my groups, she's like was so excited because she's finally started doing FBM and she got all these orders in, and so it's like a whirlwind of learning. But you do get a lot of orders doing FBM, so I think you're perfectly fine pricing competitively with the FBA sellers, and you'll win those buy box. The only thing with FBM that I think, and this is me as a shopper, not so much me as a seller, um, that I always try to offer free shipping whenever possible because I know as a customer, I don't want to pay for shipping. Even when it's tied into the price, I just don't like it. So that's just me. So that's how I do it. And Amazon is who made all the other retailers have to offer free shipping because I don't know if you know, but like 5, 10 years ago, you didn't get free shipping everywhere, and but Amazon made it a thing, and so that everyone was shopping there, and that's why everyone else starts to offer free shipping because of Amazon. So that's just something I take into account. Zach says my guides are extremely helpful. Any new resources? Looking forward to. Um, so I am planning to do a podcast very soon. So hope then 2023 there'll be a podcast. I'm gonna do meetups in 2023 also. Um, I am looking to partner with other people to continue to grow and help other sellers. So if you are interested in any of that, definitely let me know. But yeah, I am planning to grow my selling business, like my Amazon selling business. That's like my main plans. I just need this warehouse to be built, which honestly, by the end of the year, it should be up. I don't know how finished it'll be, but I will be able to be in there and packing up shipments. And that is what I'm most excited for. I am going to go to Florida, Jessica, because I know that's where almost all of you guys are. It's so funny. But not only that, I'll probably go sometime when the weather's not so nice everywhere else. I'm probably going to go to the Midwest, Florida, and I think probably somewhere, probably Oregon, just because it's easiest. I have a couple different, and then I'm gonna hopefully plan is I've got to get together with my girls, but we're gonna plan like a whole like conference. It'll be smaller because it'll be the first year, but the plan is to do that every. Plus, I love to travel, and so hopefully we'll have like destination like meetups where we're talking about Amazon, but we're also just hanging out and getting to know each other. That is something I'd really like to do also. Oh, Samantha, do it. I will gladly help you. I tried it. That's how I know you. I tried to help you guys, but it's such a different like I'm just not in it and I don't have the brain width, but it's definitely you know what is needed now. I would definitely recommend doing it. Okay, you're talking about buy box. Lucas is asking buy box with a repricer selling normally. I would, yeah, I would do your repricer like the buy box for everything because it started last year, if not a little bit before that, that because of the whole COVID warehouse shutdowns that Amazon stopped prioritizing because they would rather you do all the work for them and they'll just take some of the money with FBM versus them having to do it, which is why they have like this whole thing now where you can even pay them to do, which I would not recommend, but you can pay them to do the customer service for FBM also. They're really trying to get out of the whole warehouse like part of it. So they're definitely um, prioritizing both of them. So I would do your repricer off of that. Okay, so if you hopefully are interested in the podcast, if you want to be a guest on the podcast, shoot me an email. It's nikki@yoursellingguide.com. I am interested to have a lot of different people on from all different walks of life, levels of selling, because I just think it's fun to hear from all different sellers because there's someone out there who's kind of like you, or you'll see yourself in there and maybe they're where you want to be, or maybe you're where they started. There's all different kind of things that could happen. But yeah. Okay, so I think I got all the questions. Definitely go wide everywhere that you are sourcing. Go in all the different categories, home categories, kitchen categories, office supplies. Everything should be selling. Not everything's gonna sell, you guys. If you buy a stinker, like it's probably not gonna sell. But if it has a rank almost in any category, 200,000 or above, you're pretty much good to go. Excuse me, it will sell. So definitely get out there and scan, test different things. If you have limited capital, be smart in your purchases, but just keep rolling over. If you don't have to pull any money out of your business right now, don't. Just keep rolling over all your profits into more inventory so that at the end of the year or early January, you're going to have that big payoff from all of your hard work right now. I have one more like last YouTube of the year will be alive, so we'll hang out, we'll chat, we'll talk about how hopefully everyone if you're watching this and you come back then you can tell me how great you did or your struggles or what you learned because I love learning. I learn something new all the time when I talk to other sellers. As much as I love sitting here just talking to you guys on the computer, I really like the hangouts that we have in the beginner group course and also in the Bolo secret Bolo group. If you're a member of the regular Bolo group, if you've been in it for 3 months or longer, you can email us, or there is a post in that group where you can apply to be in the secret one. But we have a hangout there every month. Also, it's really great. You just get to know all the sellers and you find all the great Bolos. So, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me tonight. I hope everyone has a really good Thanksgiving. And if you go out sourcing for Black Friday, source for everything, not just what's on sale or what's on a deal. Source everything. Like my best stores are usually TJ Maxx that day. So definitely go sourcing. Or if you don't go sourcing, don't feel bad. You're really not missing out that much. It's just a normal sourcing day that I just happen to like going on. But, anyways, thank you guys so much. Have a great night, everyone. And I will see you back here next Monday for another selling video.